Hi, everybody. This is Matt Hawes of Comics Unlimited in Evansville, Indiana, and of The Happy Show. And I'm making this video partly in to test this new lighting I have. Not sure what to do about the glare in my glasses, but I'll fix that. And there's supposed to be a microphone too that's set up, but it doesn't quite work with my phone. So anyway, I'm going to see what I can do about that later on. The onboard microphone, so to speak, on this phone isn't too bad, really. So it's not a major issue, but kind of nice that this microphone would actually work with the phone. The jack's just not quite, I don't think, fitting properly. So I'm going to see about adapter of some sort. Anyway, I'm going ahead and making this vlog just to update anybody who watches my videos about what's going on. People might watch the videos I make for a variety of reasons. Years and years ago, I was doing a happy show on a regular basis and did comedy, and I did drawing videos and such and vlogs. And I haven't done vlogs that regularly for a while, but I have been making some somewhat infrequently these last few months, and I plan to do so. I never plan to not make videos. It's just that sometimes I make more rather than less, and in this case, I made a video not too long ago showing some of my DVD collection. I will make a second part to that eventually. It's been a busy last couple of weeks. I had a comic book convention here in town in Evansville that I was selling at, and so I had a whole bunch of preparation to do for that. It went really good. It was a free show, free admission and everything at a local mall, and that did really well. I was happy about that, and so well that the organizer plans to do another one, as I understand it, probably in August of 2022. This being just the beginning of June, and that last one was in the middle of May. So we're going to have that coming up, and another one of those shows. I was already prepared to do three more shows this year. I have one in August, another one in August, earlier in August, that's going to be at the 4-H Fairgrounds in Evansville, Indiana. It's the vendor extravaganza, and then there's a fall vendor show that's going to be held at the Evansville National Guard Armory, which is a place that most people in the area are familiar with, and that's going to happen. Those two shows will both be free admission as well. Then we got to end the year, there's going to be a big show, RaptorCon 2022, with media guests and everything. That will have an admission, but it'll be a fair price, and one that I hope that people will want to pay so that they can come and see the guests and the events that's going to go on there. There's lots going on there. Rusty the Raptor is going to be there. New mascot, got a big costume for the character, and so you can take pictures with kids and cosplayers and everything else. And of course, I'm going to be there set up at that show as well, with a whole bunch of comic books and different items and such. And so that's four more shows, I guess, this year I'm doing. This is the most active year I've had for a long time. Really, for shows, it's the most active year I've had probably ever, because I've done about, three. I think three is about the most I've usually done of an actual show. To explain, I've, for over 18 years, I had the shop, so I didn't do shows really at the shop. I went to some shows, but I didn't set up at shows during that time frame. I set up in the early 90s, once I was getting my feet wet as a dealer. Right before I opened the shop in 96, I set up at shows fairly regularly at that point in time. And then once I had the shop, I didn't really set up at shows as much as go to shows to find stuff to pick up. You'll hear, perhaps in the background, my central air kicking on, so just ignore that. it, yeah, this is acting as my studio right now, my living room here. So anyway, and then after the shop, after I decided to close the shop to have more freedom and stuff, sell more online, and at the end, my plan was to do more conventions. That first year, I think it was within that first year of closing the shop, I set up at 3 different shows. And like I said, I think that was the most I had. There was an Owensboro show and 2 Evansville shows. Geek Galaxy, Shocktobercon. I forgot what the Owensboro show was called, but that one, I did as well that year. And I think that was it. And then I started setting up the Diamond Avenue Flea Market. Was there for several years. There was a little bit of a hiccup or a break or what do you want to call it, where I actually went and had a shop within a shop for about 5 months. Then I remembered why I wanted to not do that on a regular basis. It wasn't strictly speaking when I had that shop within the shop. It was like I was just renting a space more or less to sell my stuff. I wasn't actually the the main person I had to deal with a lot of the headaches you have to deal with running a shop. It was more subletting to a degree like I was, getting a spot at a flea market. I just paid them a flat fee each month. The people ran it were fine people and all. It's just I really preferred a different location, but also I preferred being back at the flea market. So at that point, I went back to the flea market and was there for a while longer, a few more years, and then left it around the time the whole pandemic thing started. And then uh, since then, unfortunately, it had burnt down because of an arsonist, which is a whole nother sad story. Thankfully, they caught the guy; he's in jail. But um, so there's no longer a diamond flea market to return to, unfortunately. Hopefully someday, I might there might be a similar type of flea market. There's in this area. There's a lot of different shops that sell. There's consignment type deals, but I don't want to just set my stuff up and sell without being there. I want to be in a traditional flea market kind of booth where it's actually the whole term of flea market is there's so many smaller stores within the bigger store selling stuff. So in other words, people man their own booths usually. The other things they call flea markets nowadays, these certain vendor markets, are more consignment than they are actually flea markets. Anyway, I prefer a true flea market, and so if I set up again, it will be at a true flea market. At this point in time, like I said, I've been doing the shows, and I'm selling online, predominantly on eBay, and I want to get some more stuff with my art done. I want to make some more videos here from time to time, whether they're vlogs like this and videos that showcase like my collection or other aspects of my life and personality or hobbies and such, or whether I just do more entertainment type videos and drawing videos eventually and stuff. I plan to get a little more active with the videos as I can, because the last year and a half year has been pretty active for me, and I had to move. This is a new place where I'm living, which after over 20 years of living at another location, and so there was moving with and a bunch of other stuff involved. So it's just been a busy last year. So finding time to juggle everything has been kind of a hard thing to do. But I'm now getting to a point where everything seems to be kind of settling into a certain way for me. So like I said, I'll make more videos. I'll try to mix up the variety of them. I can't say for sure when at this point, how regular they'll be, because I still got to maintain my main means of making a living, which is selling my books and such. And I still got to, also deal with certain art projects I want to do. But I'll get around to doing all that. Just keep checking by. And I want to do certain special videos again, like not necessarily the series of the Happy Show, but um, maybe more than just vlogs. But that will all be worked out in the future. Thanks to everybody who does watch the videos back in the heyday, of course, of the very early days of YouTube when I first started, started on YouTube. Um, I got quite a bit of a following audience, but back then it was a lot easier for somebody who was an average person to do so. Now you got to go through a whole bunch of little tricks to get people to watch your stuff if you aren't a celebrity to begin with. And I just haven't fell into that whole pattern of making videos just for views. I mean, obviously, I'm making a video. I want somebody to watch it. But uh, as far as just a system that get people to keep coming in, I'll try to see if there's something like a regular show or something. I know that there's certain things, certain videos that people make that I guess get views regularly, but um, I'll just, like I said, work all that out. I'm kind of rambling right now because, frankly, I didn't have any exact plans. I actually want to just use my new light and this new tripod and everything that I got my phone on just to see how this works. I was hoping to use that microphone, but again, It doesn't want to work with my phone. Um, but I did want to update people on what's going on because I do have people who like I said watch my videos regularly. Some are in the area, and that's why I mentioned the shows and such. Because if you're not in the area, I guess you're like, well, man, I don't live in your town. How am I going to get to shows? Of course, if you can make it, that'd be cool too. You can follow me on Facebook if you go to Comics Unlimited, www.facebook.com/Comics Unlimited Evansville. That is my business page, but I do mention a lot of stuff. And then there's the Happy Show page. If you put Happy Show in Evansville, maybe I forget what the exact address without turning off the camera and checking. But the Happy Show has its own page too, and I've had that up for years. And I still put stuff on there from time to time, even though the Happy Show technically is itself not being filmed at this point. I still keep that alive, just like I keep this channel going, and I keep concurrently a sister channel, if you will, Matt Hall's youtube.com, youtube.com, The Happy Show, The Happy Show, however they phrase that. You can find it actually on the profile page or account page, channel page, whatever page for this YouTube channel, because I think I have it linked or in the links where you can go to that one, which has, for a while there, share a bunch of videos on there. I try to mix it up a little bit. Sometimes there's a lot of crossover, but I try to mix up and have some different variety on that channel. I won't keep this going too much longer because I don't want to make this super long video. But if I talked before in one of my more recent vlogs about the early days of YouTube, and I still want to kind of go back and talk to people or make a vlog talking about that with people again, because it really is interesting to think how much things have changed. A lot of people who've come along since, or frankly weren't even old enough to have been there around there in those early days, don't realize how much has changed. One thing that excited me in the early days of YouTube was that it was a community of regular people vlogging, and there was people like me who weren't celebrities in any right, but we made creative stuff. Like I was already doing public access television in Evansville, Indiana, and doing the Happy Show, and I was already getting views through that. But I looked at YouTube, and back in those days, was being public access on the internet in a sense, but only you have to be in a specific area, because most public access is only available in certain areas. It's kind of made that way for people in certain communities, so the community will have a voice. Regular people have a voice. Public access is not public television in the sense of public broadcast system, like PBS with Sesame Street and all. People get that confused all the time. That's a whole nother thing. Public access is also called local access. Is usually provided more or less free for a community. Sometimes they might charge you for studio use or whatever, but you can put on, depending on what city you're in, you can put on your own program and such. Tom Green was famously a person who came from public access in his area. And, different people have done their own television shows that sort of way. But usually it's limited in scope because, again, you're only getting a certain area of people based off of the city or state that you're in. Usually it's with only citywide, or maybe it extends a little further. Anyway, so YouTube, when I first discovered it, was my opportunity to do something further. And also on there, most people were vlogging in those days. They're putting up vlogs or some creative stuff, but this, the news, the networks, cable channels, all that stuff wasn't really a part of YouTube back in those days, because first off, they didn't realize for a while there just how much it would help them with gain a further audience as the internet gained more and more prominence, and network TV lost more and more viewers as it got fractured between internet streaming that would come later and cable TV and all that stuff. So but in the early days, it was a bit more open to just the average person, just like everything, like public access and everything. Eventually, once the companies start realizing there's some capital to be made, and there's some kind of use that they have for a platform like that, it becomes more and more corporate and commercial and blah blah blah. But so that's what's happened with YouTube over the last few years. And like I said, I want to make a video that gives it more proper attention at some point about the history of that. But just to point out that there's a lot to talk about there. um, anyway, I'm not going to keep going too much longer because I'm probably boring anybody that's still watching at this point. It's probably bored them in the first 5 minutes or less. I just want to go ahead, like I said, make this video to just test this out and update everybody on what's going on. And anyway, so that's it. Yay! Shut off.